Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about a breathing technique for singers called Appoggio. We're going to talk about how it works, 2 exercises that will get you started, plus we've got an extra section on nose versus mouth breathing at the end, so stick around. Real quick though, if you're new to Vocal Power, I've made season 1 of the podcast, the Vocal Power audiobook, so you guys can access it and start learning for free. Plus, you can get all of the book exercises and demonstrations at learn.vocalpower.com.au. All right, let's get back into it. What is Appoggio? Appoggio is a breath control technique that engages the diaphragm, the core muscles, and the intercostal muscles for a stable and powerful singing voice. When it comes to singing, breath support requires using less air by balancing the air intake and the resistance during the exhalation. So Appoggio helps this balance by maintaining an expanded rib cage, engaging the abdominal and lower back muscles, and managing the airflow and pressure throughout singing. The result is a controlled and balanced tone with healthy subglottal pressure. Now, the bad type of breathing that some new singers use is called clavicular breathing. It's a shallow inhalation that involves the chest and upper shoulders. You can think of it like a heavy sigh when you're stressed. It's got limited airflow and provides subpar breath support for singers. Relying on clavicular breathing can lead to reduced vocal power and strain. So let's not do that and learn to lean on the power of Appoggio. Let's start with the diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle at the base of your rib cage, and it separates the thoracic cavity, which houses your lungs, from the abdominal cavity. As we breathe, the diaphragm contracts and relaxes, and it enables our lungs to expand and compress. The process is kind of similar to how a bicycle pump works, where the piston inside of the chamber moves up and down, and that creates compression and release, and it produces airflow at the nozzle of the pump. I'll just put the illustration from the Vocal Power book up on the screen now, and you can see the dome shape just there. So as the diaphragm contracts and moves downwards, the thoracic cavity expands and it allows air to fill up the lungs. Then upon relaxation back into its dome shape, it expels the air back out of the lungs. Okay, so the first step to significantly improving your singing is mastering diaphragmatic breathing. It's also known as belly breathing or deep breathing. There's 3 steps to proper diaphragmatic breathing with Appoggio. Number 1, posture. Stand with good posture, keeping your spine erect and allowing your shoulders to remain comfortable. Here's an illustration of good and bad posture from the Vocal Power book. Number 2, place one hand on the center of your chest and one just beneath your rib cage, not super low on your stomach. Now inhale slowly through your nose as air starts to fill up your lungs to about 3/4 full. And I want you to really take notice of how your stomach is moving outwards, just below your rib cage there. Keep your chest slightly raised as if there was a rope attached to your sternum and then hooked on the ceiling. And we just want to focus on that abdominal expansion. You should feel your hand moving out just below your rib cage down here on your abdomen. And remember, you don't need to completely fill up, just go to what's comfortable. Now, just as a side note, the upper stomach moving outwards while we're inhaling is our proxy for the engagement of the diaphragm. If it's moved downwards, the organs will need to move out of the way in order to make space for it, which is why our stomach moves outwards. So it's kind of cool. And number 3, exhale. When we're exhaling, we want to maintain a expanded rib cage position that's keeping the intercostal muscles engaged, allowing the air to be expelled easily through our mouths. You should feel the abdomen contract as the air is pushed out. Now, the support sensation can kind of feel like the feeling when you lightly cough. You should feel a little kick there, or you can make the huh sound like a dog pant. You should feel a little kick just down here in your stomach. All right, now we have the diaphragm engaged. Let's do some exercises together to round this out. 2 exercises to mastering breathing for singers. The rib cage expansion exercise. Stand with your back right up against a wall and place your hands on your lower ribs. As you inhale and your stomach moves outwards, I want you to focus on your rib cage moving outwards too, to both the back and the sides, and also focus on keeping your chest nice and relaxed. Once you've inhaled, hold this position for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale, allowing your ribs to return to the initial position. The intercostal muscles hold up the rib cage and they increase the space for the lungs to expand in. Here's a quick demo. Hands on the side. I'm going to focus on my stomach just below my rib cage, expanding outwards as my hands go outwards. ballooned out all around here and my chest has remained nice and relaxed. And then I'm going to expel. Keep practicing this one. The leaky tire exercise. I love this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one hand on our lower ribs and we're going to put one hand on our upper stomach. Now we're going to breathe through the nose. We're going to focus on our hand moving outwards on our stomach and our hand moving outwards on our rib cage. We're going to fill up with air. Once we've filled up with air, we're going to suspend it for a couple of seconds and then we're going to exhale on a hissing sound. It's like the sound of a leaky tire. Now I don't want it to be the sound of a slash tire like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. That's way too much air escaping. We're trying to resist the air. Now, I want you to set a timer for 20 seconds of exhalation. And if you feel like you're running out of air, you can lean forward and gently compress all that air inside of you. So here's a quick demo. We're going to breathe in through the diaphragm. The ribs are going to raise as well, and the chest will remain nice and relaxed. Then I'm going to exhale on the sound of a leaky tire for about 20 seconds or so. I'll just give you a quick example. Here we go. Okay, so nose breathing versus mouth breathing. I get this question a lot. What is the difference? When you breathe in through your nose, the air is going to be filtered, humidified, and warmed before it passes through your vocal cords and into your lungs. This just helps to ensure that the air that's gone to the vocal cords is clean and optimal for singing. Now, with mouth breathing, it's often used during high intensity phrases where we need larger amounts of air. And so while mouth breathing is great for like high intensity phrases or long passages, it doesn't provide the same filtration, humidification, and warming as nose breathing. But they're both valuable and they both have their time and place. So as a singer, you're going to be using both types of breathing. All right, just before we wrap, if you feel like your voice could use a little magic, I got something just for you. It's called the 28-Day Singer Starter Challenge with daily online exercises and weekly goals to get you on track to vocal success. There's no overwhelming lectures, just practical steps to train your voice. Whether you're a shower singer or the next superstar, this will help you take the leap on your adventure. Oh, and as a bonus, snag $50 off the program with the code VP50 at checkout for a limited time. Just head to learn.vocalpower.com.au and let's get started on your singing journey together. All right, guys, that is it for this podcast. Keep being awesome and I'll see you next time.